Welcome to part 1. In the first video, we laid the metabolic foundation. Today, we're moving to concrete action. I'm going to reveal 5 vital tips to master your biology. Each step is an essential brick, but make sure to stay until tip number 5. It's the one modern science neglects too often, yet your heart will personally thank you for it. Let's go. Most adults do not meet recommended physical activity guidelines. We drive instead of walk, we take elevators instead of stairs, and we sit for long hours at desks. These small choices add up and affect multiple systems in the body. And here's what most people miss. You don't need a gym membership or extreme workouts to improve your health. Even 30 minutes of daily walking is linked to meaningful changes in the body over time, starting from your very first session. Let me show you exactly what happens. Let's start with number 1, and this might surprise you. Your brain can produce new cells when you engage in regular physical activity like walking. For decades, scientists believed adults could not generate new neurons, but research has shown that adults can undergo neurogenesis. Walking stimulates the production of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which supports the growth and survival of neurons. BDNF promotes neurogenesis, especially in the hippocampus, the brain region responsible for memory and learning. Studies indicate that adults who exercise regularly may have hippocampal volumes slightly larger than those who are sedentary. One study found that older adults who walked 40 minutes 3 times per week for a year increased hippocampal volume by about 2%, offsetting age-related decline by roughly 1 to 2 years. Brain imaging studies support these findings. Regular aerobic activities are associated with healthier brain structure and function. While the increase is modest, it represents meaningful support for cognitive health. Number 2, walking can boost creative thinking. Researchers at Stanford found that walking, whether on a treadmill or outdoors, increased performance on tests of divergent thinking, the kind of creativity used for brainstorming and generating new ideas, by about 60% compared with sitting. This effect was observed both during walking and for a short period afterward. The study compared sitting, walking on a treadmill, walking outdoors, and being pushed in a wheelchair outdoors. Walking, regardless of environment, consistently enhanced creative output. Why does this happen? Walking increases blood flow to the brain, delivering more oxygen and glucose. It also allows your mind to wander in ways that focused desk work does not. Researchers describe a state called transient hypofrontality, where parts of the brain responsible for focused analytical thinking quiet down, allowing more associative and creative processes to dominate. Writers, artists, and innovators have noticed this effect for centuries. Science now confirms it. If you're stuck on a problem, a walk can help stimulate creative thinking. Number 3, and this is significant, walking can help reduce symptoms of mild to moderate depression. Multiple clinical trials have shown measurable benefits. One study found that walking for 30 minutes, 5 times per week, led to a reduction in depression symptoms of about 40 to 50%, which is comparable to the effects seen with some antidepressant medications for certain individuals. How does walking help fight depression? It is multifactorial. First, walking stimulates the release of endorphins, natural chemicals that elevate mood. Second, it can increase levels of serotonin and dopamine, neurotransmitters linked to motivation and emotional well-being. Third, regular physical activity reduces inflammation in the brain, which is increasingly recognized as a factor in depression. Fourth, walking outdoors exposes you to natural light, which supports circadian rhythm regulation and vitamin D synthesis, both important for mood. Fifth, the rhythmic and repetitive movement of walking has a meditative quality, helping calm anxious or ruminating thoughts. This does not replace professional treatment for moderate or severe depression, but walking is a well-supported, accessible strategy that can complement therapy and medication. Number 4, we're getting closer to tip 5 for your heart, but before that, walking can improve blood sugar control in ways that, for some people, are comparable to medication. This is especially important since over 100 million Americans have diabetes or prediabetes. Here's what happens. When you walk, your muscles contract, and contracting muscles take up glucose from the bloodstream for energy. This process occurs even with lower insulin activity. Studies show that a 10 to 15 minute walk after meals can reduce post-meal blood sugar spikes by about 20 to 30%. In people with type 2 diabetes, regular post-meal walking has been shown to modestly lower HbA1c, the measure of long-term blood sugar control, by around 0.5 to 1%, which is similar to the effect of some medications. One study found that 3 short 15-minute walks after meals were more effective at controlling daily blood sugar than a single 45-minute walk. Timing matters because the muscles are taking up glucose as it enters the bloodstream. Your muscles act like sponges, absorbing excess sugar and using it immediately for energy or storing it as glycogen. This effect works partially independently of insulin, which is important for people with insulin resistance, as seen in type 2 diabetes. Walking supports better glucose control as part of an overall lifestyle approach. Number 5, your heart becomes more efficient. When you walk regularly, your heart muscle strengthens. This means your heart can pump the same amount of blood with fewer beats, lowering your resting heart rate. Studies show that regular walkers may reduce their resting heart rate by 5 to 10 beats per minute over several weeks. That might not sound dramatic, but the cumulative effect is significant. For example, if your resting heart rate drops from 75 to 65 beats per minute, that is 10 fewer beats every minute, 600 fewer beats per hour, 14,400 fewer beats per day, and over 5 million fewer beats per year. Your heart is doing the same work with fewer contractions. This reduces cardiac workload, conserves energy, and supports long-term cardiovascular health. Elite endurance athletes often have resting heart rates in the 40s and 50s due to the same principle. Additionally, your stroke volume increases, meaning each heartbeat pumps more blood. You get more cardiac output with less effort. Regular walking improves cardiovascular efficiency at the level of both the heart and blood vessels. And that covers the first 5 surprising changes that happen when you walk daily. But we are only halfway there. In part 2, we will explore how walking strengthens your immune system, builds stronger bones, transforms your sleep, reduces chronic pain, and even influences how your DNA ages. Make sure you are subscribed and stay tuned for part 2, where the remaining surprises might be the most fascinating of all.